All board members are present. Notices have been posted. Would you please stand for the pledge of allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Board of Education will be going to closed session tonight after our regular meeting to discuss 19.85, parentheses 1, parentheses C, F, to discuss administrative contracts. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's board meeting. Mr. Colby, would you check the delegation, see if anyone signed it?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. First on the agenda would be our consent items. This is the time if any of the board members would like anything pulled from the consent items for further discussion, now would be the time. If not, I would need a motion to approve.
So moved. I'll second it.
We're 2 for 2.
Keep it going like this.
Mr. Bailey.
You two could play all that. It's like a CISA meeting, right?
First from Mr. Bailey and a second from Mr. Colby to approve the consent items as listed. Any discussion or questions? If not, then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We will change the agenda a little bit. We will have 8G. Mike Clark is here from Baird to talk about our referendum debt refinancing.
Good evening, and thank you for accommodating my schedule. Mondays are hectic, and I have to get to North Fond du Lac to have a similar conversation with them. Yeah, tonight. We took bids on some debt that the district has that is refundable as of 4/1/15, and with some great results. The made it up with 11 bidders. I'm short.
All right.
I've been short all my life. If you open up to page 2, the list of the results. We took bids on $6.58 million general obligation refunding bonds this morning at 9:30. We received 11 bids. It's one of the higher numbers that we've seen in quite some time. And Raymond James and Associates had the low bid with a true interest cost of 0.9631%. Now, when you'll see in the final resolutions, the par amount changes a bit, and the actual interest rate will change a bit because of we go out with estimated. In terms of when we get the final rates and things, there's the ability to tweak the size and how much premium they may offer. So if you turn to page 3, you'll see that the final amount was $6.395 million. So a lower amount. The date settlement date will be February 17th. We'll assist the district in getting the wiring, all that set up. We'll assist the district setting up the call notice on the existing debt that you'll be paying off on April 1st. So we'll help take care of that. The maturities on this debt were April 1 of 16 through 20. The first interest, your payment schedule will stay the same. It will be April and October 1st. First interest payment will be October 1. This is non-callable debt. It's very short. We wanted to, no rates were really low. We wanted to maximize it. Standard & Poor's affirmed the AA- rating, which is great. There are some pressures on ratings. District spending fund balance, uncertainty of state funding, those types of things. The economy's rebounding, so that's helpful. The rating report is in here. I won't go through it, but it's still AA- for a district of your size tax base. Speaks very well of your overall finances, the management of the district, so very happy with that rating. Again, the true interest cost, the final, because again, we had moved some maturities around, is 0.9634, Raymond James again. The refunding issue goes back to 2005. It was a refinancing at that time for savings. And this is really, I think, the fourth refinancing for savings the district has done on portions of debt. So it's 2 issues on the high school debt, so. The next page, page 4, is the before, what your debt looked like prior, what the debt looked like after. If you look on the left-hand side, the maturities 16 through 20 in the box, those were the callable maturities. Those are the ones you could refinance. The 15, the small one, we couldn't do anything with. The rates in the 4s. And again, we're replacing the average, it's an average tick of a 0.96%. The annual savings begin in 16 because we've already levied for your 15 payments. We're using that to pay off some debt since you already have the funds. So really in 16 through 20, the average is about $115,000 a year in annual savings, which is always saving. Because when you look over back to the left, you see what your total debt payments were going to be, and if you take out the 15 payments when you had 270, you'll see that that's a significant savings over what the district was scheduled to pay. Gross savings, just looking payment to payment, $575,000. PV savings, $551,000, meaning if you had all those savings today when you discounted back, over $500,000. So this is one of the highest savings levels I've seen on a relatively short issue. And we did very well. So. And again, the standard reports at the back has some very nice things to say with the district. I won't spend a lot of time on that, but strong finances, strong management of the district. District, I know the district uses our forecast model, which S&P likes. They look districts that are looking at multi-years, not looking at 1 year in isolation. So with that, I'll conclude my comments and take any questions.
Mike, can you talk a little bit about how the potential of the potential energy exemption program projects that we are looking at doing? I know that we haven't established what
Sure.
those are, but we have set aside money for that, and how if we do multiple projects that would require us to go out to referendum for all those projects, how these savings and that project will mesh.
These are taxpayer savings. This is voter approved debt issues. So to generate this type of savings at the same time where you're looking at an Act 32 type of program where it may have an impact to the taxpayers, it can neutralize to some degree, depending on the scope of your projects, some of that impact. Again, the district has done a good job in terms of looking at refinancing opportunities. Backing up just a second, the tax exempt debt, the IRS limits the ability, you can only advance refund one time, and you can current refund as many times as possible. You can't keep putting short call features in there because bond buyers like to hold, to a large degree, hold their debt. So you've taken full advantage of all your refinancing opportunities. And so again, these savings would come at a time possibly, if you move forward with something where you might be adding something. And even, I know, worked with Whitewater in a similar situation with their high school debt. They pay interest only on the energy exemption debt until the existing debt is gone, and then they pay a higher principal. So again, depending on the scope, you could offset just and then again, it does have an impact because there is a cost to Act 32. It's not free, but you could do it in such a time where it's after some of your existing debt falls off, and given the size of your debt, you have the ability to pay it back quite quickly, depending on, again, the scope of your projects. So it's something we're seeing quite a few people looking at in terms of addressing some projects. And when they're not quite to that drop, last time I was here, we talked about when the drop was coming and some of the opportunities. So actually, it's part of the conversation around that time too. So. Great. These are some of the best rates I've seen on a 5-year note for anybody. Waukesha Tech maybe got a little lower on prime, but they're AAA rated, so.
Correct. Mrs. Law, at this time, the board would pass the motion on the resolution.
Correct.
So moved.
Got a first from Mr. Rickland and a second from Mr. Colby to approve resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of $6,580,000 under general obligation refund funds.
It's the 395.
Yeah, the final amount was the
Yeah.
6,395, should be ready.
Say it again.
6,395,000. Based on what we got today.
Okay, I'll just repeat it. Resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of $6,395,000 under general obligation refunding bonds. Do we have any questions or discussion? All in favor, then signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
All right. Nice seeing you again. Thanks again for accommodating North Fond du Lac.
Okay, moving on to the agenda here, we'll go to the superintendent's report.
A couple of pieces of good news for the board tonight, as we trudge through the dreary month of January. This is from Mrs. Joy Poffenroth. She says, "I'm happy to announce the formation of a new a cappella group at the high school called Aquapella. They will be making their performance debut on Sunday, February 8th as part of a community partnership fundraiser with and for the New Hope Center called Sweets for Your Sweet. There will be 5 dessert tastings from area restaurants and chefs beginning at 1 p.m. in the Chilton High School Commons, followed by the Aquapella concert at 2 in the Anglo Center. Tickets are available through the Anglo Center website, and we hope that everyone attends." This was from Mr. Apple and Ms. Woodcock, who is with us this evening. She writes that the middle school held their annual spelling bee, and Kaya Nolan was the spelling champ. Kaya goes on, today she went on at Chilton
Yeah,
Catholic School.
and she didn't win. She got knocked out on one of the weirdest words. The first round, everybody's going down, and she gets this word that threw her off. So
Do you
she
remember
did a
the
great
word?
job.
Do you remember the word?
Is it Caillou or?
It was an odd word that I thought, I didn't even know if I knew how to spell it,
Yeah,
honestly.
spelling
Then
was-
she asked for a definition and she asked to repeat it and we're like, ooh, I don't know.
So
Was
she
it-
did all the right things.
She did, she did. She
Good.
tried her best.
And she was just off on one.
Oh, so
But
close.
she did it for, we had in the finalists with all K-8 kids, we had 2 fifth graders in the finals.
Wow.
And they kept going back and forth, and we had to come up with some new words and some things, so, yeah, they did a great job.
Good, good. So she represented us well.
Yes, she did.
Mrs. Law, do you have the pictures from Mr. Schromek? Did I send those to you? Mr. Schromek said that second quarter is coming to an end and he wanted to share some of the things that they had been doing in science class this year, but he also wants to give a preview of what is coming in the future. And so he sent some pictures from a few of the activities that have been done so far this year. Not sure, I thought I had sent them to you, but I'll go on because he writes, "Coming up this next quarter, we'll be studying astronomy, geology, and the scientific method. Most students really like astronomy and talking about stars, galaxies, planets, and especially black holes." He also wants to remind students to keep reading and not to forget to journal. Each quarter, students should read and journal 25 nonfiction books. In addition, this quarter, I will be focusing on helping students make and use flashcards. If you find time, go through the flashcards with them and see if they know them. Only 5 minutes a night would help immensely. Have a great weekend, Mr. Schromek. Here we go. Working with atoms and building molecules, so he has these all labeled. These are things that he worked on just this past, since the fall.
That's it. That's
Is
all
that it?
there are.
Busy group in middle school science. This is a note from Becky Lemke, who is a first grade teacher, is that correct? At Chilton Elementary School. She writes, Dr. Martin, this morning, and she wrote this on January 9th, I attended an early riser readers event with my son. He and I were sitting at a table eating when I saw a family that I was pretty sure was new to our district looking for a place to sit. I invited them to join our table. After a while, I asked the mother if they were new to the district, and she indicated that indeed they were. I introduced myself and told her that I was one of the first grade teachers here. She spent the next 10 minutes telling me how glad that her daughters were in our school. The mother was originally from this area, but she had moved to the valley, and the girls were attending school in the valley, and she wasn't happy with the education they were receiving, so she moved back to Chilton and enrolled them here. She told me that her daughter struggles in school, and she is so happy with the support that she is receiving to help her be successful. As the conversation ended, I told her it was nice to hear she's happy with the education her daughters are receiving, and once again welcomed her to the district. Now, don't get me wrong, I have no idea how the previous district actually handled students who are struggling academically, so I'm not trying to put anyone down, but I do think it's important for us as a staff, administration, board, etc., to realize that we are in fact doing great things for kids. We are helping all students, especially those needing help succeed. Our school district is a reason that people move to this community, as we can plainly see with the students that just keep coming in the doors. As I sat listening to her, I was very proud to be a part of this district, which was a great way to start the day. So thanks to Mrs. Lemke for sharing that story, and that is my report.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Martin. Do you want to comment on youth options?
This is the time when we provide those quarterly reports. There have been no youth options requests at this time during this period, and also no alternative to the open enrollment made from the district. So that takes care of those.
Thank you, Dr. Martin. Next up would be President's Report. I have nothing to report at this time. We'll move on to our Student Board Representative, Mr. Dawson.
Today marks the first day of the second semester, the second half of the school year. We have 4 months and 4 days and 20 hours left of the school year that nobody's counting. But Student Council, as its own entity, this past week have hosted their first Grot Fry that they did, and I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. Breitlow and Mrs. Mullen, our advisors, for that, and everybody who stopped by to support Student Council. We grossed over $800 for that Grot Fry on a Friday. So we were hoping that the cold winter made everybody ready for brats and burgers, and it did. Since the last board meeting, our school counselor has also provided an AP informational meeting and a registration meeting for the high school students here. And that was, I attended, and I believe that was really well received with the parents and the teachers. It shows and it reflects highly upon the school that there's the communication line open between the parents and the school about our upper level courses and classes that we articulate with other colleges in the area, as well as the Cascade courses that we do. So the parents that I spoke with that night were really pleased with how that went. Today we actually had the registration information sessions for the freshmen, sophomores, and the juniors. So they had time with Mrs. Pop to learn about what the options that they had for registering for new classes, which is a super important thing for them to know that what other options are out there to preparing them for then post-secondary options that they have. And then when they were getting that registration information, the seniors went through informational sessions with both Lakeland College representatives and students and Fox Valley Technical College representatives and students who talked about college options and once you get into college, what it's like and what you should be doing and what you're doing can make you most successful there. So with that, it concludes my reports. If there's no other questions.
Okay, thank you. Awesome. Mr. Bailey is going to give us a short report on CESA 7.
Yes, just maybe you'd like to know what we're doing up there. One thing that they've been talking about for the last couple of meetings is an option for the districts to basically run a commercial about their district, something that's happening positive within their district. The cost is $500 per school. It'd be, so if you want to do the whole district, it'd be $1,500, so that might be a little pricey, but some of the other areas are doing it. You might even start seeing them running here shortly, but I know you mentioned that we might be doing something different.
Correct. I am aware of this initiative at CESA 7. I think it's called My Public School Experience. And the idea behind it is to sort of change the conversation about public schools and focus on all of the positive and really worthy things that are happening in public schools across our state. So CESA 7 has gotten together with a videographer, and they're putting together these little short vignettes of students who have had an outstanding public school experience. And everything, we've seen a couple samples from some school districts, and everything from, you know, students that are going to Harvard to special education students who have had a really terrific experience, or students with autism that have really come out of their shell and really have been able to shine. So it's been really heartening to watch these. And I've sort of been on the fence as to whether or not we as a district should commit to this project, because the school district, the staff probably knows, we've been talking about creating a video about the Chilton Public Schools. And we talked about doing it ourselves, and that did not come to fruition. Then we talked about working with Life Touch, and that did not come to fruition. And as of late, we've talked about working with Harmon Studios, who is the photographer for the Chilton Public Schools, to put together a short video, 3 to 4 minutes, really promoting Chilton Public Schools and talking about the good things that we have going in our district. So it's more of a district-wide perspective. Rich has been involved in this, Russ as well. We've been meeting and talking, and we're getting ready to launch this project. So this is, you know, these two things are kind of happening simultaneously, which is why I haven't committed to the CESA 7 project, because of the cost, for one thing, but I wanted to see where this would go. But these My Public School Experiences will probably be airing on television. You may see them, the short little snippets that will come across on local TVs out of the Green Bay area. So, not that we can't do this and this, but I've sort of put a hold on this while we're working on our current project.
From the Harmon Studios, that would be, where would we see that? Would that be on our website? Or
Well, yes,
Probably through our website, social media, put it out a different way than just televised. It could be possibly through our local access that could be done.
something we'd like, certainly want the media to have, something we think that our local real estate offices should have as they look to promote this area for families looking to settle here. So we'll try and
The
make
big
it as
difference between
accessible as possible.
what that one is and what we're looking for, ours really promotes Chilton as a whole community, and the families and the people who are here, the people who come through here, and the businesses that are here to try and not only showcase Chilton schools, but Chilton as a community. So it's a little bit different than just the school.
Right, this is a public school experience to really promote public education. This is a video to promote the Chilton Public School District. And there are districts that have done this. Prior to us, there's districts in the area that have done videos of this nature for their school district. So we think it'll be very positive, and we're looking forward to getting started. We're just about there.
Just waiting on a few more people to commit that will kind of be our key spokespeople, and then there'll be others that will fill in, but we're working on finalizing.
Okay, that's all right. Okay, thanks, Steve. Moving on then to our Board of Education, our committee reports, policy committee, Mr. Colby.
As a CFO,